Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Border Battle Show. After beating a 7-9 team with no name and a fourth-string quarterback, Tom Brady has officially been declared the GOAT. Welcome to this week of NFL Talk. We are in the playoffs. It's very exciting. We're going to recap the games quick. If you don't know me, my name is Eli Merrick. This is Tim Smith, Vikings fan, Packers fan, Border Battle Show. We don't have any other teams to talk about this week.
No, it's weird. It was like a mini off season.
Yeah.
For 1 week, and then you get to see your team lose, and then your team will be done too.
Huh? We'll get into that.
Yeah.
We'll get into that a little bit more. We got a lot of games to recap. It was definitely
super wild card.
It was a super wild card weekend. It was not a regular wild card weekend. It was super this year.
That's right.
As we had more games, more excitement. 6 games to go over. We're just going to run through them real quick, recap what happened, let you know what stood out to us. So let's get started, Tim, with the Indianapolis Colts going to the Buffalo Bills. Bills won this game. It was a close one, though. Closer than I thought it was going to be, personally. I picked the Bills to win and cover this game. 27-24, the final score. What really stood out to you in this matchup?
So I think we knew that the Colts were going to be a defensive team. That's kind of how they have an offense. They're well set up to be a team that can, hey, we have an offense that can take care of us, but we're a defense first team. Mm-hmm. And they showed that for most of the first half. The thing that stood out to me was up until either right at the end of the second half or into the third quarter, every one of the Bills' drives started on their 15-yard line or lower.
Really?
The special teams was just shutting down, the punting and special teams was just shutting down the Bills. And that was keeping them from having long drives, so it was a lot of work just to get any points on the board for them, keeping it close for most of the game. But eventually the Bills were able to get through, and it was really the Bills' game to lose in so much as they were really supposed to win this game, and they were the better team. But there were some concerns with they were never able to get the run game going. Part of that was they were backed up, so they were passing more. But they never got the run game going, and their defense didn't look very good. I mean, they've been hit or miss with their defense all year, but their defense didn't look good, and they're really going to need it to show up if they want to beat the Ravens, I think.
Yeah. So quick secondary question. Obviously, Bills move on, and they will face a pretty difficult matchup, I think, with the Ravens. What do you think? What do you think of the Colts next year?
It depends on whether or not Phillip Rivers is back.
Yeah.
If Phillip Rivers is back, they'll probably be the same, 10-6, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have another shot at it. If he's not, I don't know where they're going to pivot quarterback wise. If they could run Jacoby Brissett, I don't know what they feel about him anymore. But yeah, but they're a good team that just kind of needs to figure out where they're headed quarterback.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad for Phillip Rivers. He's 39 right now, and he reached one conference championship back in 2008. But other than that, it's been very little postseason success for him, and he's been a very successful quarterback. He's been incredibly
consistent to good and above average.
Yeah, he's just been a very consistent above average quarterback in the league. It would be cool to see him have a bit more success, but not this year.
Yeah.
Bills take the win. Let's move on to the next game, which was the Los Angeles Rams versus the Seattle Seahawks. I blew this game in my pick.
Yes, you
did. This game did not go how I thought it would. I picked Seattle to win and cover. I thought they were the better team. They've had a weird year where they started with their offense just incredibly hot. They were blowing everyone out, scoring 40 points a game. And then their defense was the weakness. And then as the season went on, you kind of saw a transition from their defense stepping up, starting to play better, but then their offense regressing somehow. It was very odd. I thought it was just kind of a get to the playoffs thing, maybe.
Yeah.
They have the pieces on their roster to be a very good team, I feel like. But, man, they could not handle the Rams' defense. The Rams' defense just blew them up. Russell Wilson played not good. And the Rams, even though they scored more points than I thought they would also. And a lot of that has to do with the defense. They got a pick 6. Russell Wilson with a horrible pick on a screen pass gets taken to the house. Seattle wasn't able to get the running game going that much. Carson did finish the game with 77 yards, but there wasn't much going on offense other than an occasional bomb to DK Metcalf, and that was it.
Yep.
That was it for the entire Seattle offense. What did you think?
Well, first of all, I picked this right.
Yeah.
Reason being is the Rams have this quality about them where they can look really bad at times, and they've done it all year. Goff has looked lost, the teams look lost, but I don't know if it's just good coaching or what, but they know how to be competitive and win games when they need to. And you saw it here. Their defense showed up.
Yep.
Took care of it. And despite the fact that Goff came in not even being the starting quarterback and looked bad up until one drive in the fourth quarter where he went 4 for 4, their passing game didn't look good. But they were able to just run the ball down the Seahawks.
Cam Akers with a very good game. 131 yards and a touchdown.
I think what you saw from the Rams, what you get when you have a very defensively minded team with an offensively minded head coach. It works. It's a weird pairing, but it works.
Yeah, Rams definitely the number one defense this season, without dispute. They dominate in most of the categories, and you definitely saw it in this game. This high-powered Seattle's offense looks so frazzled.
And I think the big question for the Rams going forward is they have 4 guys whose health is questionable. Big guys for them. Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, and their 2 quarterbacks.
Yes. Yeah, we'll discuss that a little bit more when we predict Rams-Packers, which is definitely the most exciting matchup, in my very biased opinion. What do you think is the future for Seattle? Are there things they need to look at after this loss?
Seattle is the kind of team that's in that position where, because they have a guy like Wilson, they just kind of have to go for it every year unless they want to get rid of Wilson. So I think the 2 things, their running game's always been weak since Marshawn Lynch has left. So they could try to address that. Otherwise, I think they're in a relatively good position, and they just got to hope that their defense, they could try to improve their defense, but their defense seems like it's got good pieces in there too.
I think they had the pieces. I think there were just some things that weren't coming together at the start of the year, and we've seen it. We've seen the pieces come into place a little bit more as the season's gone on. Still, giving up 30 points to the Rams means your defense is garbage.
Yeah, that's not a great look.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the nightcap of the Saturday night games. It was a fun one. Chicago. It was Bears.
No, it was
football
team.
Yeah, football team versus the Buccaneers. Sorry, I get the teams that shouldn't be there mixed up. My bad. Hey. So Tampa Bay versus Washington. Tampa Bay had to travel in this game to play the 7-9 Washington Redskins. Oh no!
Said the word.
Oh no!
Football team.
Oh no! The team of football.
Sorry. Excuse me.
And they didn't have Alex Smith.
No, they didn't.
Which was a bummer. Or Dwayne Haskins. They trotted out some guy named Heineke, Taylor Heineke, who had a bit of a breakout performance. He made the game fun. He had an incredible 46-yard touchdown run. And actually kept the football team really in this game.
He looked really good. For the situation and everything, he looked really good. And it's one of those performances that, and I don't know if the football team wants to keep him where they have him or if they're what the situation is. But if they aren't, he's the kind of guy who's gonna he could get a decent contract this year.
Yep.
Because he looked good in one playoff game. That'll ride you a lot.
Yeah.
And that's good for him. Vikings fans might remember him for being a backup.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember who he was backing up at the time, but he was one of our backups.
Yep, back in the day. Yeah, he final stats on the game, very good for just coming in last minute. He threw 44 passes because they were down in this game, but he completed 26 of them, a touchdown and a pick, and like I said, the 46 yards on the ground and a touchdown, very good.
Yeah.
He had some highlight plays. Tampa Bay, like I opened the show with, and Tom Brady's getting all the credit for this. He probably should get some of it. He played I was going to say almost a perfect game, but he had so many incompletions. He was close to 50% completion rate, but he finished with 381 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, so it's still a good game.
I'm willing to go on the record to say that I don't know. I put a lot of credit to. He has 3 good wide receivers and then 1 good guy who's just a deep threat. What's his name? Miller? Or his name is? Yeah. And then he's got 2 passing-minded tight ends.
Yeah.
So his weapons are insane. Options.
His weapons are so good. It's the best weapons he's had in his whole career, for sure. And yeah, you expect him to play good. He's he's the GOAT.
Yep.
What do you think about? We kind of talked about what they want to do with Heineke. What do you think about Washington's future? Do you think they're the favorite next year for that division?
Their defense is really good, and it's very young and on the upswing. They're in a good position defensively. I'm a big believer of Antonio Gibson. If anyone talks to me, I think he's a great running back and he's got a lot of potential.
Yeah, did not have a great game.
Didn't have a great game though
in this game, but yeah, he had a great season coming in undrafted.
Yep.
He's a very exciting player. I think they got some good young pieces. Yep. Sims is a very good wide receiver as well with McLaurin, who's already pretty well respected.
So I think the big question for them, similar to the Colts, is they got a lot of pieces. What's their plan with quarterback?
Yep.
But they're in a good position, and unless the Cowboys really figure something out, I see them. Well, maybe the Giants, but I think they'll be the favorite coming out the gates.
Okay, let's move on to Sunday. Baltimore Ravens versus Tennessee Titans. This was the only other game that I just picked wrong. Both I went 8-4 on the week, but I got two games where I just didn't get the spread or the winner right, and this was another one of those. I thought Tennessee was going to win this game. I really did. But man, give credit to the Ravens coaching staff, as I think they dialed up the perfect defensive strategy to deal with what the Titans bring, and it's called stacking the box.
Yeah, it's not exactly a revolutionary idea.
No,
the Ravens run somewhat one-dimensionally. It's just, hey, push Derrick Henry down the field, and that's what they did, or they tried to do.
Yeah, it just didn't
the
work.
Ravens knew that was their plan. So.
Yeah, Derrick Henry finished the day with 18 attempts for only 40 yards, and caught passes for 11 yards. Like, he did almost nothing. You can see it in the scoreboard. I mean, 13 points. It was anemic for the Titans offense. Tannehill played okay, but just never was able to move the ball.
Yep.
And the Ravens did enough. Lamar Jackson, we know why was MVP last year. He can run the ball like no one's business. Yep. He finished his game with 136 yards and a touchdown. He had that 48-yard run that was ridiculous.
Yep.
It was insane. And granted, he only finished the game with 179 yards and a pick, but that's all you need when your defense is that good.
Yeah.
Ravens and the running game is solid. So
have one of the most aggressive defenses, and I think it works really well against a team like the Titans, who are run first.
Yep.
And that makes it just aggressive defenses can eat that alive.
Yep. What do you think about the Titans moving forward?
They're a good team. I think they're in the position of you're asking yourself, how far can Tannehill take you?
Yes.
But they're a good team regardless. I think their wide receivers maybe a little weaker than some of the other playoff teams.
Mm-hmm. I think they're.
But as long as they have
developing.
Derrick Henry and they're a weird team. They're hard to assess, but I think they're still in a good position, and they're in a weak division.
That is
true.
Other
than the Colts.
Yep, I would agree with that. Okay, 2 more games to go. We got the what was next? I got them all mixed up on my
Nickelodeon game.
Oh yeah, the Nickelodeon game, because it was a joke. The Bears, they got to be in the playoffs.
Yeah,
and they got to play the Saints, and it went about how you thought it would go.
I'll give them credit. They didn't give up 52 points.
They did not give up 52 points. Kamara did not score 6 touchdowns, and they only gave up 21. The issue, the Bears only scored 9 points.
Yeah.
They can't score points. They couldn't score points all year until the last couple of weeks for some reason. And, yeah, this game went about how I thought it would go. The Bears have a good defense. They tried their best.
Yep.
The Saints just have too many weapons. They're going to put up at least 20 points, even if your defense is good. And 3 field goals ain't going to cut it. Or a touchdown, no extra point. And they did get the 1 touchdown. But yeah, it just, the Bears are the Bears.
Yep.
I don't think there's a whole lot to say about this game.
Hey, you know what, though? The standout from this game?
Yeah.
Mitchell Trubisky did win the Nickelodeon Valuable Player Award.
Is he the first player to do so?
First player ever.
Oh, my goodness.
He has more MVPs than any other player in NFL history.
Did you say MVPs?
Also, MVP. Yeah, that's what the Nickelodeon Valuable Player. MVP.
Nice.
Also, kids are cruel, making him have to go accept that after a loss.
Did he?
That.
Oh, he had to go up and grab a trophy.
I don't know if he had to go
I bet he
that'd
did.
Be
Do you think
sad.
it was like a turkey? Like
this is the SpongeBob.
The gross. Yeah, it was like a SpongeBob you can eat. Maybe. I don't know.
Krabby Patty.
Nice. Final game. I guess I could ask what you think of the Bears moving forward. They're in a division with the Packers. They're never going to win a playoff game
Their
again.
defense is good. I'll give them that. And they'll always win a game against the Vikings every year. They can just pencil that in. But Mitchell Trubisky was not the right draft pick. I will harp on that forever. So good luck.
Okay. Enough said there. Final game, and a good one to end it. I
Yeah.
think the most memes came out of this one.
Yeah, this was
It was fun. I didn't even watch the whole thing because at a certain point you knew this was over. But the Steelers did make it interesting. Browns beat the Steelers 48-37. Definitely the most surprising final score. Like just looking over the the scores, it's like, wow, that really stands out. And man, did the Steelers want to lose this game at the start.
Yeah.
That was the worst first quarter of football I think I've seen for any team.
It was the first thing that came to my mind was last year, if you remember, the Texans went up 24-0 in the first quarter against the Chiefs.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, well, the Browns are going to screw this up somehow.
Yeah, they're the Browns.
Yeah, I just there wasn't a lot of confidence. That was the same reason why I didn't pick them to win, because I didn't have I was like, I want them to win, and I think they're good enough. There's just a lot of, it's their first time in the playoffs, and there's just so much going against them where I didn't think that it was good. But they did it. They put up all the points they needed. They shellacked the. I don't think either team did defense. The Browns did at the beginning of the game, I guess.
Well, I would say I don't even know how much credit you can give the Browns defense. It was just kind of a implosion of mistakes on offense. You know, first snap goes right over Roethlisberger's head, and like Pouncey's one of the best, like most respected centers in the game. He's been playing forever. He's looking probably at retirement right now. It's just a bad way to go. I felt bad for him. I don't really like Roethlisberger, so he can, whatever. But Roethlisberger tried to stage a comeback in this game. He threw for 501 yards, which is only the second time that's happened in a loss.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Super Bowl. Tom Brady's Super Bowl.
Oh yeah,
was the first. 47 completions, which is an NFL record.
He even got it.
4 touchdowns.
Yep.
4 picks. So, yeah.
He even
they were
got
giving
within
it away.
A score at one point, right toward the end. There was
About 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
It was an 8-point game.
It was a 1-score game.
Which is crazy when you're down by 4 touchdowns right away.
Yeah. So this one was interesting. It was a fun way to end it, and Browns win their first playoff game since
94, I think.
Yeah, a really long time. And the Steelers, they've been here before. They can go home.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Steelers moving forward? They're in a very interesting place.
They're in a weird spot.
Yeah.
I mean, Browns and Ravens are good, and they're going to be good next year. Don't know if Roethlisberger's going to keep on playing. Don't know if they want Roethlisberger's. Their running game's a mess. I think they have a couple of their defensive guys are free agents.
Yeah, they're going to be losing some pieces.
They're in a really weird spot. I don't know if they'll be a good team next year.
Yeah,
I
see a bit of a rebuild coming.
Yeah.
They're a well-run organization. They got good coaches and stuff. I feel like they'll have a downish year, go get 6 wins, and then they'll be back. They'll be back. They know what they're doing. Okay, let's look forward now, because I have been, trust me, to the Packers game. Packers versus Rams. This is a classic matchup. This is going to be so much fun. It's number 1 offense versus number 1 defense. Normally, the adage is offense wins games, defense wins championships. It used to be in our old intro for this show. I just don't think that's the case anymore. Who has been winning Super Bowls recently? It's been offensive teams.
It's true.
Chiefs, not really known for their defense. It's okay.
Yeah.
But we all know them for the offense. The last defensive team that won the Super Bowl, Eagles?
Yeah.
That game definitely wasn't defensive. The actual Super Bowl wasn't.
They were similar structure to the Rams, but better in that they were a defensive-minded team who did a lot of weird things on offense and made it work.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I was going to say well coached, but Doug Peterson just got fired, so who knows?
Funniest thing I saw today.
Yeah.
Someone took a picture of the statue. I don't know, is it outside the Eagles Stadium of Doug Peterson and Nick Foles?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's like some Philadelphia dad's going to have a hard time explaining this to his kid someday.
Yeah. They look so good.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the Rams. Rams, the spread right now is at 6.5 points. For the Packers, the home team, this game is supposed to be cold. And I think that's a really big factor that we need to talk about. Because let me pull up the tweet. But Aaron Rodgers has been incredibly good, and the Packers just in general, at winning the cold home games at Lambeau Field. It's an obvious advantage. It's incredibly obvious. Like, the playing out in the cold, especially if you're not used to it, is just going to be difficult, especially trying to throw the ball. So Aaron Rodgers has played the entirety of 10 games since 2016 with freezing temperatures at kickoff.
All right.
In those games, the Packers are 10-0. Rodgers has 26 passing touchdowns and 1 pick. In that same time span, Goff has played in only 2 games, so smaller sample size, but they won one of those games. Goff, though, has been horrible in all of them. He has 0 touchdowns, 5 picks.
I will say, best case scenario for the Rams is a scenario where Goff doesn't start. Either Wolford's still out, and they just say, you know what, give it to Bortles. They'll be fine.
Still pushing Bortles. Huh?
Still pushing Bortles.
I don't think
Never give
Bortles.
up.
I think Bortles has no chance of starting in this game, but I would love to see it.
Or John Wolford participates in practice tomorrow, and they feel like he's healthy enough to start. Seems unlikely at this point because the game's on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably going to be Goff.
Yeah, I think
which is rough for them because he didn't look good in his prior cold games. I still think the Rams have a shot here, though.
I got one more stat, and then I want to hear how you think the Rams win this game. Rams this season are 8-0 when allowing 19 or fewer points, but they're just 3-6 when allowing 20 or more points. That's a low number. That's a very low number.
Yeah.
The Packers are averaging on this season 32 points a game.
Yeah.
There's no way we score less than 20 points in this game. I don't see a single scenario where the Packers score less than 20 points in this game. How do you stop this offense? I don't care if it's like minus 15 and snowing in Lambeau.
So,
you're not stopping this offense to less than 20 points.
Here's the way it works. Right?
Okay.
First thing, I'm going to counter your stat with a stat. Aaron Rodgers is 0-4 when playing the overall number 1 defense.
Oh, no.
All right?
Okay. I like our nitpicky stats. This is rough.
It's great. Second, you were saying that all the Seahawks could get going last week was deep passes to DK Metcalf.
Yep.
Okay, swap that out with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams because that's all they're going to get going. The difference is the Rams secondary is so good it won't matter. It won't matter. They'll just shut him down.
Shut down Devontae Adams.
Yeah, they'll be the first team to do it.
Did you see the last snow game in Lambeau with Devontae Adams?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Against the Titans?
It wasn't the Rams cornerbacks. So
that is true, but I have to say, Devontae Adams looked like he was the only guy wearing cleats.
Yeah, no,
out on cold Lambeau.
That was one of the most impressive wide receiver games in that condition ever.
It was ridiculous. He's gonna do it again. Like
that's only part of the plan, though.
Oh, okay.
Part of the plan.
Okay, hit me.
The other
What's
part
the plan?
Cam Akers gonna run all over you. You don't know you can get 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ain't seen nothing like that before. Oh yeah, you have.
You ready for this?
When Dalvin Cook did it.
Yeah. Are you ready for this? Aaron Jones will have more rushing yards than Cam Akers. Bet. Watch.
No.
Watch. Here's what's going to happen. Rams are going to do everything they can to slow down Devontae Adams and Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Robert Tonyan and all the Packers' weapons. Our one weapon and the rest of the guys. And
Devontae Adams and the crew.
Yeah. And Jalen Ramsey versus Devontae Adams is going to be so fun to watch. That's going to be so great. And I can't wait for when Devontae Adams catches the touchdown on the opening drive. Watch
he gets called back for offensive pass interference.
No. Jeez. The stare down that he's going to give Jalen Ramsey is going to be so epic.
It will.
Just wait for it.
Until Jalen Ramsey gets 2 picks off him.
Oh, my goodness. Did Rodgers throw 2 picks all year?
I think didn't he have one game where he threw 2 picks?
No.
Or maybe that was like last year.
Yeah.
I remember there was a game where he threw 2 picks, and I was like, this is Rodgers sucks now.
Rodgers is garbage. Yeah, that was last year. But, like, I don't see how the Rams offense can muster points in this game. And look, the Packers defense has been playing well recently. Mm-hmm. We had a lot of doubts about them going into the season, but I would say them, like the Seahawks, have definitely put the pieces together a little bit more. The big complaint against the Packers early on in the season was the run defense is garbage. Last 5 games, the Packers haven't given up a 100-yard rusher, and we played some very good running backs in that time frame. I don't see the Rams running game beating us because I believe, and it's going to go much like the Ravens strategy against Derrick Henry.
Stack the box.
We will just stack the box.
That's the thing, though.
Throw it on us in the cold. Good
Robert
luck.
Woods and Tyler Higbee are still good pass catchers, even if Cooper Kupp doesn't play.
Mhm.
So, like, I think you can't just stack the box. Like, I think the Rams are a better passing team than the Titans. They can be.
Maybe. Not with their quarterback situation right
And they
now,
don't-
though.
all they need to
Tannehill is miles above whatever the Rams are going to be trotting out. I don't
Yeah.
think the Rams offense can muster enough points that even if this very good Rams defense does everything they need to do in this game, I still don't think the Rams
That's where Sean
defense
McVay comes
can
in.
score enough points.
Sean McVay's the kind of coach who can work with the offense like this and still make it put the points it needs to. And that's going to be the difference.
I guess we'll see. Do you
So
want?
ready to make picks?
Yeah. You ready to make your official prediction on this game? Let's just do a quick recap of last week. So we finished the regular season. Tim was ahead 1 pick on me. It was pretty close, and it remains close. We picked 6 games and the spreads for all of them. So I went 8-4 on the week. I got Seattle wrong. I thought they were going to win, and I thought Tennessee was going to win. You went 9-3.
9-3, yeah.
Pretty impressive. So you continue to lead. You're now up by 2, 35-22 on the season. I'm 33-24. We got 4 games this week.
Yep.
So I can still make up some ground, but
Absolutely.
we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. So I'm getting a little nervous. Rams versus Packers. Or should we save that till the end?
Yeah, I'll save it to the end.
Okay. Ravens versus Bills.
Bills win. Bills cover.
I haven't even said the spread yet.
That's it.
Okay. The Bills are only 2.5-point favorites at home.
Yeah.
They're not even giving. Vegas is literally saying that
It's
the
a big
Ravens are a better team than the Bills.
Yeah. So,
unless because of COVID, home field advantage isn't worth 3 points anymore. Which maybe that's a thing, but to my betting knowledge,
yeah.
you give about 3 points to the home team.
Yeah, it's a weird spread. But I will say I think the reason being is because the Bills look so bad at a pass rush. They're not going to be able to stop. They don't look like a team that can stop Lamar Jackson right now, which is really bad for the Bills.
Yes.
But I think the Bills are a better team, and I think they'll still come away with a win. And if you win, you're probably going to win by more than 2.5 points. I think that's more likely than not.
I think the spread is smart in that this game is going to be very close.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Lamar Jackson's going to have a very good game. But I think the Buffalo offense is just high-powered enough that they'll power through whatever the Ravens can throw at them. The Ravens' defense is good, but Josh Allen has just been playing really well. And I think the Stephon Diggs is going to just be tough to stop. I see this game being a bit of a shootout, and I think Buffalo ends up coming away with the win. I am going to give the Ravens the sneaky cover of 2.5 because I do think this game is going to be down to a field goal. Okay, Browns versus Chiefs. Biggest spread of the week, -10 for the Chiefs. What are you thinking?
There's a small part of me that wants to atone for not picking the Browns last week.
Yeah,
And wants
I
to
know
pick
you
the
really
Browns.
wanted to.
But I won't.
Okay.
Chiefs will win, but I still think 9.5 is a way too big of a spread. Chiefs have had a lot of red zone issues, both defensively and offensively, at the end of the year. 9.5 is too big of a spread. Chiefs will win, but the Browns will cover.
Okay.
That's all I have to say.
You're wrong. Chiefs win. Chiefs win so big. The Browns, you know what happens when a team that hasn't won a playoff game in forever finally goes over the hump?
Remember the Minneapolis Miracle?
That was a miracle.
I know, but remember how we won a game in a position we hadn't in a long time,
Yeah.
and then we went and lost terribly? That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I see what you're doing. You're
Yeah.
going to the next game. Sorry. I was picturing your first
No,
win. I'm
no,
like, oh,
yeah.
this is a little bit different situation. I see what you're saying. Absolutely. That is a good example of that, actually.
Yeah.
When a team reaches heights above what it normally experiences, like winning for the Browns, they will fall. They will fall hard because they're not ready. They're not ready for the Chiefs. This team
That's
is
fair.
not ready for the Chiefs. Chiefs are going to win by 20 points. Chiefs win. Chiefs cover. Final game before the big one. Bucks versus Saints. This is going to be your Sunday night game. I don't have the spread written here.
I had 3.
Oh, yeah. It was
Three
like
for the
even
Saints.
3. Even 3 for the home team Saints. What do you think?
Well,
Tom Brady versus Drew Brees.
Yeah.
This is big.
So this is the third time the Buccaneers and Saints have played each other this year.
Yes.
I think the Saints beat them both the other times. Maybe they split, but I know the Saints won at least once.
I look it up.
But I've been low on the Saints all year. And if it wasn't the Bears they were facing, I would have like literally picked them against anyone last week. So I have to pick them, and Buccaneers are going to beat and cover the Saints.
I'm not big on the Saints by any stretch of the imagination. I think they're consistently an overrated team that gets overvalued because of their good offensive weapons and good fantasy players, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, but they consistently choke in the playoffs.
Yep.
They consistently lose in the playoffs, and the Buccaneers are a very good team, led by a quarterback that knows how to win in the playoffs.
It's just a squad of veterans. Like it's all just guys who've been there.
Yes. But that being said, and oh my goodness, did the Saints beat the Buccaneers this season?
Yeah.
They won both games. First one 34-23. The next meeting, and they were both very early in the year. That's kind of odd. The next meeting was 38-3.
Yeah.
Saints.
So my point there is,
and that was on the road
generally,
too.
If you face a team a third time and you've lost twice, generally that favors the team that's lost twice.
Mm-hmm.
Just generally, but it's happened both ways, so that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
I think Saints do win this game though. I think the combination of them getting their offensive pieces back at this time is been really good for them. It's given them a lot of confidence and a spark, and their defense is better than the Bucs. They both have good defenses, but I trust the Saints defense to make a play when it matters against a Tom Brady that I think will take more risks than Drew Brees in this game, and in a game that is going to be really close. I think the quarterback that actually takes more risks in this game is going to lose this game.
That's fair. I think the big thing for me for this game, Buccaneers have the best rushing defense.
That
the
is
one way the Rams aren't the best defense. Buccaneers have the best rushing defense.
And it's by a lot.
Yep. And Saints have one of the best running backs, and they use them a lot.
They do.
So
they do.
If they can shut down Kamara, that's how they're going to do it.
Yeah, I think the disadvantage to having such a good run defense against the Saints is that the way the Saints offense likes to operate, it punishes you for playing downhill. Yep. Because of all the screen passes, all the outside
backfield screen passes.
Yep, all that stuff. It really makes it difficult for a team that plays downhill and really likes to go after, get those tackles behind the line. It makes it really tough on you because you got to play side to side so much against the Saints. And I think that disparity is too big of an advantage for them, and they're gonna win. And I'll give them the 3 points. It's gonna be close though. Okay, final game, Packers at home, chilly Lambeau Field, hopefully a freezing game. I hope it is. It should be cold.
I think we know your pick.
Yeah, I'll just go first. Packers win. 6.5 is a lot of points though. So the real question is, do they cover? I think they do.
Okay, yeah.
The offense is too good.
I was gonna say
if the Packers score 25 points in this game, we cover.
Pretty much.
So
yeah, probably.
About around there.
28 is the maximum points the Rams could ever score if everything breaks right for them.
Yeah, unless their defense if they're maybe they get a pick six.
Yeah, there you go.
Then I could see them getting around there. But because it took them a pick six to get 30 against Seattle.
Yep, exactly.
Their offense isn't good.
No,
Packers win, Packers cover. It's going to end up being a game where the Packers don't reach their normal scoring that we've seen them hit. So I don't know if they're going to hit 35 or something like that, but they'll score over 20. They'll get 28 maybe. I'm going to say 28-13 final score.
In a blazing act of hypocrisy, after hyping up the Rams, I'm going to pick the Packers to win, Rams cover.
You suck. Jeez Louise. Hate arguing with people that don't even believe what they're arguing.
Well, we can make a tie. I'll pick the score, and we can make a tiebreaker bet. So at least someone. Okay. Although you picked the Packers to cover, but I'll pick a score.
Okay.
It will be Rams 24, Packers 21.
So you're saying you're picking a score that's different than your actual pick of the game?
Wait, no. Sorry. I meant Packers 24. Rams
oh, okay.
21.
I was very confused for a second.
I was confused at what I did.
Yeah. Yes. So, okay. Packers win 24-21.
Yep.
Okay. That's reasonable. We'll see what happens. Enjoy the games, everyone. Thanks for watching the show. We'll be back next week to either keep that Packers hype train going or recap the season. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Have a good week, guys.